Hey everybody, this is Jose Blasco. We are about to start here. Actually, it's the top of the hour already. Could you please confirm you hear my voice? Sound is good and everything is correct. So we begin. I will really like that while I'm maximizing the introduction slide. So we are ready to go. Okay, I think we are good. Hey Mark, I'm reading your comment about this time for the sessions. Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. I hear you. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Out of curiosity, by the way, have any of you participated of the FX Street sessions? If you haven't, and you are an OT student, they are for free actually. So make sure you join us. Okay, we are 9 instructors running sessions on FX Street at the moment as well as a complement to what we do here in the channel. Okay, so keep that in mind. Anyway, everybody, we are ready to start here. I'm gonna turn on my camera so I can say a proper hello, everybody. How are you? Cool. Today I'm wearing my Ferrari T-shirt. Okay, the Formula One championship begins next week, so I'm getting in the mood for a little bit of racing out there. Very excited. If you're into motorsports, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get started. March 6, 2020. Welcome to the session. Today we're getting together for short-term trading. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. And again, today we are looking at Forex and futures markets. We'll be looking at trades, planning those trades, looking at the setups, defining all the different parameters for those trades, and just go from there. Okay. Before we start, I do have a disclaimer to read for you. So I will do this quickly. That way we can start. And here is the disclaimer. Disclaimer: the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. Here we go. Disclaimer. And from the disclaimer, we jump into TradeStation, which is waiting for us to begin the session, signaling the different potential opportunities for us to now go ahead and do some further analysis to confirm if they are or not proper opportunities so we can execute those trades. Okay, cool. You guys have been quite silent on the chat box today, just to confirm that everything is good and we are properly connected live and everything. Would you mind to give me a little hello? Just to confirm the chat box is working, because I see much less activity compared to other days. And I get it, guys. Many of you may not be used to connect at this time, but at the same time, I would like to confirm that all is good, because that way we can interact easily on the chat box, okay? So please, just type a quick hello. That would do, just for me to know that everything is fine, okay? Cool. So anyway, so let's begin the session. Okay, so what do we have here? First, on the left, futures markets. Second, in the middle, Forex majors. Third, on the right, Forex minors. Okay, and with all those different markets, okay, we also have different time frames attached to it. 240-minute time frame for the minors, also the majors with 240. But also, because the majors are more liquid, we also dive into 1 hour time frame, 60 minutes. Okay, and then for the futures, okay, we are now dealing with centralized products. Okay, and because those products are centralized, so then we are shooting for 15-minute time frame. Even though sometimes if they are less liquid, we'll go for 60, and if they are even less liquid, like the lean hogs, then we go all the way to the 4-hour time frame. Okay. Cool. So that's what we have, okay? And basically what we're doing is that we're looking for the golden alerts, okay? But it's not enough to have a golden alert, okay? There are more rules that we need to follow. But as a, in a way that is quite simple to be observed, notice that sometimes we have the word hopeful, where sometimes, give me a second here. I just lost my pointer for a minute. Sometimes we got the word sensible on the right. Okay, you see that? Hopeful or sensible. So basically, we are looking for sensible because hopeful, as the name suggests, sound a bit less probable, isn't it? So again, you could certainly trade in the direction of the climate if the climate is too extended, because a climate tends to last. But when the climate is too extended, then the probability of this climate to continue and remain is much less. Where when we use sensible entries into climates, that means that the climate is closer to a beginning stage instead of closer to an ending stage, and therefore we give ourselves the opportunity to enter a market where the move could last for longer. And this means further away targets, and this means greater reward to risk ratio. Therefore, in today's session, like I always do, I will be filtering out the opportunities and give special importance to the opportunities with the word sensible, and simply ignore the opportunities with the word hopeful. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Cool. So what do we have? Well, in the futures markets right now, everything is hopeful. I do see the Aussie US dollar, okay, Aussie US dollar giving us an opportunity here, which is sensible, okay, sensible, and therefore I'll start with that. And normally, when it comes to Forex trading, we use TradingView, isn't it? So I am loading TradingView here. And we'll get the Aussie US dollar on the chart in just a second. Okay, just loading. Here we go. So let me open load chart on TradingView, looking for UFOs black and white, and that's going to be the setup that we use for our trades. Okay, so everything is being loaded properly. And by the way, we do have the Aussie US dollar on the screen already, which is nice. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we have a 240-minute time frame. That's the climate, which is near sensible. Okay, so instead of looking at the 60-minute time frame on the left or the daily time frame on the right, okay, we will be focusing on, okay, no daily time frame on the right, we'll be focusing on in the middle 240-minute time frame. Okay, notice the gray background chart will be utilized for climate purposes, where the upper chart with the white background is going to be a 21-minute time frame, and here we're going to activate in a second the AutoUFOs so we can plan our entries as well from that particular lower time frame. Okay, so what do we have climate wise? I mean, we know this because of the radar screen, right? So it's a defined climate. It's a confirmed climate, blue color. So it's an up market. So we ignore the stats in the middle. We focus on the stats on the left, 5.67. Okay, maybe I should zoom in. Okay, it would be easier on your end. So 5.67, that's what we care about. 718, that's for down climates, and that's not the case. It's an up climate. And the current climate has been running in that direction for 2 candles already. Okay, 2 candles already. So what does that mean? Okay, and guys, I think that I'm having a little bit of a problem here with the chat, because suddenly I cannot read you. Okay, now I read you. Oh my God, I missed so many messages, guys, here. I'm so sorry. Let me catch up just in case. Yeah, Bojan, I hear your Formula One woohoo. Got it. So nice, very good, very good. Okay, perfect. Yes, so I'll see all your highs and hellos from before. Sorry for that. I was kind of like surprised that I didn't have interaction, and I'm like, something should be happening. So anyway, coming back to the Aussie trade. Okay, so we are looking at stats which are suggesting climates going up for 6 candles, right? 6 candles going up. Current candle is number 2, so certainly entering long. It's certainly not being late to the party. We are on time to enter a trade long as every other rule in the process is being met. Okay, so in this case, we are now dealing with 0.6619. That's the value of the EMA. That's our reference value, 6619. And therefore, with that number in mind, 6619, I'm going to drop into the 21-minute time frame, turn on AutoUFOs, and look at 6619 to see where that may be. Okay, and 19 is right there in the bottom part of this particular UFO. Okay, and if you look at 15 is the bottom part, 15 overlaps with 12. Those UFOs are overlapping too, and basically we will need to have a stop all the way below 15. So in other words, we are talking about like let's call it 30 something pips of risk, okay, from entry 24 to stop below 85. It's more like 40 pips of risk, something like that. Okay, so 40 pips of risk, to be honest, is a bit large. Okay, so I will take a quick look at what the target would be on the 4-hour time frame, and unless we got a very far target, then we'll probably end up discarding this trade. Okay, so let's take a look at where the target would be on this currency, and we are talking about 6709. So if we enter 24, it's going to be a little less than 100 pips. So it's going to be like a 2-to-1, okay, like a 2-to-1. Okay, so okay, so you know what? Let's continue the process, okay, to see in the end. I don't want to anticipate too much, even though I'm not too happy about what I see, okay? And this trade may be not the best, okay? But instead of guessing, it may not be the best. Let's go ahead and follow the process and conclude if the trade is valid or not, okay? So I'm opening up here a window with the order panel. This is an opportunity to go long. So then I'm going to be able to type all the values in here, okay? Good. So what do we have? A UFO just formed, okay? And updates on the bottom UFOs also took place. So let me see. Oh, actually, it's looking better now. It's looking much better now. So what do we have? What do we have? Let's begin with the target. So the target would be 6709. Okay, 6709. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove AutoUFO and type here take profit 6709 for the Aussie dollar. Okay, I just made a mistake. I just placed an order in the simulated account, as you can see. Okay, I guess I didn't click correctly. 6709. Yeah, I hit by mistake the buy button here. Okay, so anyway, that's I'll correct that later on after the session is over. I don't want to waste time now. So 20 is the EMA. Okay, so 20 is the EMA. So there is a UFO here around 24, but obviously that's above the EMA. Actually, that one is even up higher than 24. It's like 30. Okay, so this is the UFO we're gonna use. Okay, 24 to 15. Because 20 is in the middle, okay? So we're gonna use 24 as the entry, okay? So let me type it here. So 66.24.1, that will be the entry. Remember, we need to adjust this to 4 decimal places. It's not gonna be 24, it's gonna be 25 because we adjust by rounding up since it is a buy, right? And then because it's a buy, we need to add 2 more pips, it's gonna be 27, okay? So 66.27. Okay, and then the stop, okay, is going to be placed below 15, right? So if I was to use 66.15 for my stop, okay, it would be 66.15.4. I would adjust down to 15.0, right? Adjust down because that's a sell, is a sell stop. So sell, adjust down, buy, adjust up. And then because it's a stop, I need to add breathing room by 5 additional pips, and in this case it means subtract 5, which is 10. And if you look at 10, 10 falls inside the next UFO that begins at 12 to 4. Okay, so therefore I cannot use 10 as my stop. I'm gonna have to use 66.046. That's the reference price. I need to adjust to the 4 decimal place. I will adjust down. It's not gonna be 66.05, it's going to be 66.04. Adjust down because it's a sell stop, sell, adjust down, and then I'll add additional 5 pips for the stop. That would make it 65.99. And I like it because in this case, 99 is falling in between UFOs right there. Okay, this one is 98, okay, which is almost 99. Okay, but you know, is what it is. 99 is above that, so we're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so entry is 27, stop is 28 pips below at 65.99, and the target being 67.09. We are basically shooting for 82 pips, which is a 2.93 to 1, which looks actually good. I thought it was not ideal, but it does actually look good. So we're just gonna go for it. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this trade in the system. You need to give me 1 second, guys, because I forgot to turn on the software I used to use my phone to share my phone on the screen. So I just want to do this very quickly on my other computer screen, and we'll be there. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so my phone is coming here. Loading, here we go. I got it. So here's my phone, okay? And I'm using MT4, okay? So this is the Aussie dollar. So we're gonna tap on the Aussie dollar to place an order. Of course, there is one thing I'm missing, which is the size of the trade. This depends on your risk appetite. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with 88 is your risk appetite, okay? So if 88 is your risk appetite, you can see the right size would be 31 microlots, okay? But remember, because we're gonna use two brackets, one with the safety target and one with the final target, so we're gonna use half of the size. So I'm gonna make this 44. And therefore, this is gonna be two trades with the Aussie dollar with 44 microlots each. Sorry, 15 microlots each, which 15 with the language of MT4, its input as 0.15. So I'm gonna click on new order. This is gonna be a buy. It's gonna be 0.15. Okay, that's the size. I'm gonna do this twice. That way I got the full size is 0.3. Okay. My entry price is gonna be 66.27, correct? Yes, I do have it right. My stopping price is gonna be 65.99. I do have it correctly. And my target price is gonna be 67.09, and I also have it correctly. Okay. So just as an extra additional confirmation, let me freeze the screen here. So we have 15 is the size, and that's 15. Okay, 0.15. The entry is 27. Here is my 27. The target is 09. Here is a 9. And my stop is 65.99. My stop is 65.99. So everything is looking good. And therefore, I am ready to click place. So 1, 2, 3, place. So the order is in the system. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to my quote window and go for Aussie dollar and tap again on the Aussie dollar new order. Notice that I start from top to bottom, good practices first. I'll tap on buy limit. Notice how MT4 remembers the size from the prior trade. So I'll leave it like that. And then I just need to, again, one more time, input 27 for the entry, input 65.99 for the stop. And now my final target, okay, sorry, my safety target, I need to calculate 28 pips on top of 27, which is my entry. Okay, so if 66.27 is my entry, I need to add 28 pips on top of that. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be 55, 66, 55. That's my safety target, which is same distance above, right? Same distance from entry to stop, projected above the entry. And I'm going to tap place order, and the order is in the system. And you can see I got my Aussie dollar. Let me expand. Okay, let me expand. I got my entry 66.27, 66.27. Okay, let me freeze the screen so you see the detail. So 27 and 27. I got 15 and 15. So that corresponds with the entry. Now, protection, stop is 99, stop is 99. And targets, 67.09 is the final target. 66.55 is the safety target. So I got the whole thing in place. I'm fine. I'm ready to go. That's it. So let's go for the next trade. Hopefully you guys followed. If I went too fast, this is your time for you to let me know. Okay? So Australian dollar, US dollar, first trade of the day. Checking the chat box to make sure you guys with me. Um Everybody, I don't see any additional comments, but it doesn't mean I don't need additional comments. So please go ahead, and if all is good, let me know all is good, and go ahead if you have any question, let me know as well, and I will know. Thank you very much out there for your comments, guys. Good. So anyway, back to the radar screen. What do we have? Okay. Well, we have a near sensible short with the Nasdaq. Okay, but unfortunately, the climate is not confirmed. Gray color. Okay, so what do we do in this case? Nothing. Okay, we do nothing. We just wait until the climate confirms or another opportunity shows up. This moment in time, it doesn't look like it, so we will just leave it alone at this moment in time. The Aussie US dollar is not flashing anymore, but we already got the trade in place, so we don't need to worry about that one. Okay, checking the chat box again, everybody's good, so that's great. Okay, and now when looking at the miners, okay, we do seem to have a bunch of opportunities, 5 to be precise, with the pound yen, pound kiwi, Swiss franc yen, euro pound, and euro New Zealand dollar. Okay, so we have a few opportunities there. So let's begin looking at them. I'll just do from top to bottom. Pound yen goes first. So let's take a look. GBP, JPY. I have a sip of water if you don't mind, guys. Okay, so what do we have here with the pound yen? Well, certainly, again, we are looking at the middle chart. Okay, so 240.21. Okay, because remember from the red screen, that's what we got. Okay, we are looking at the 240-minute time frame opportunities. Okay, certainly, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna also add copy. Okay, copy, and I'm just gonna paste here more currencies. I'm gonna make this to be daily climates. Okay, and the way I'm gonna make this to be daily climates, I'm just gonna select all of those. Okay, I'm gonna select all of those and right click time frame, and I'm gonna make this to be daily. Okay, so notice how on the bottom they're all daily, on the top they are 240. So we may have other opportunities as well to show up on the daily time frame, and then we can always go ahead and using the charts on the right with the daily time frame, okay, and the 55-minute time frame, we can also plan those opportunities. Okay, but for now I am working on the 240-minute time frame, which are the charts in the middle. And what I see here, okay, I'm just gonna zoom in. So what I see here is that we are in a down climate, which is confirmed. Okay, all of this is clear. But the down climate has statistics which are supposed to last for 7 hours, for 7 candles, which is 4 hours each. And we are already dealing with candle 7. So certainly you can go ahead and plan the trade. But since I got a few more, okay, and we only got 1 hour to spend together, so I would like to explore other opportunities which hopefully will be of a greater quality. So let me go ahead and go back to the red screen to see what else is going on. And we got the Swiss franc yen with candle number 1. That's gonna look much better. Candle number 2, candle number 1. All of this is gonna look much better. So let's take a look at Swiss yen. Okay, let's take a look at the Swiss yen. Okay, Swiss yen. And yes, we can see the chart confirms what the red screen suggested. Okay, so we have a confirmed climate. Oh, I just froze the screen with that label on the top. Here we go. So confirm climate. It's an up climate. So we are dealing with a potential 6 candles, 7 candles moving in the same direction. This is candle number 1. So certainly we would expect this to come here and keep moving up for a while, isn't it? That's the move we are trying to catch. Okay. So our reference entry point is going to be 112.29. That's our reference. But of course, we have rules around that. We need to find UFOs and everything else. So let's go back to the 21-minute time frame to see if we have UFOs at that price point. Oh my God, what a large, large, large UFO. I'm just going to discard it because the distance from entry to stop is going to be so large, like 40 over pips. This is kind of half of a daily move from entry to stop. I feel it's a bit too much, especially if you think about the purpose for our safety target, which is safety. You want the safety target to be close by. And if the stop is going to be so far, that's going to push the safety target to be far out. Even if your final target was to be so far out, then your safety target is not really acting as a safety measure, it's acting as a normal target. And then the trade is less convenient. It would be valid to take it. But given the fact there are many more currencies, so my approach to trading, and this is where I'm leading you to, it's to be a bit more selective, a bit more picky, and explore different opportunities before you commit to one. Okay, good. Mark, all okay? Yeah. Ray, all is good. My Aussie US dollar is a bit different because I use Oanda. Got you. And that's not a big deal, Ray. It's okay to, when trading non-centralized products, CFDs, Forex, cryptocurrencies, or others. So it's okay that, depending on the broker you use, you may end up having a trade or you may not, and it's fine. The important thing is that you don't make up a story by keep switching brokers, and let's say you use Oanda and now you're using another broker on purpose. So on the chart, the trade looks okay, because with your broker it didn't look okay, and now you're kind of forcing a trade, and every time you use different market data. Okay, so consistency also implies to always use the same market data. And if your market data was not to validate the trade, then don't take the trade. If your market data is validating the trade, then take the trade. Okay, but don't switch back and forth between market data just to, basically force an opportunity. Okay, we want to be consistent, and this also implies always using the same source for data. Okay. The euro contract is near to sensible long, but not golden. Okay, so if it's not golden, means that it's not near enough, because my rule is 0.5 ATR, and that means it's not that close yet. So we'll take a look at that in a minute, Mark. Bojan, I think it's because it was trading below the 90 EMA mark. Now it is golden again, but no green UFOs inside. Oh, okay. So if it's golden, we better go take a look. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful, Ray. Wonderful. I love what you just said. You got used to it and you just stick to Oanda. Wonderful. I love it. Okay. I love it because certainly I can see in you in the past few months that you have developed such a much more intense mindset when it comes to being mechanical, isn't it? And I really love to see this transformation on you. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, we have so negative number on the ATR spread, which means that the euro contract is on the other side of the EMA. So probably we may see a change of climate. So at this moment in time, it will not be worth it to check. Okay, so we're gonna keep working on the euro pound. Okay, we're gonna keep working on the euro pound. So EUR GBP. So here's the euro pound. And what we have here actually is a very similar situation where, it's a bit better. So it's 6 out of 7. Okay, 6 out of 7. So it's a bit better. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so 86.64 is our reference price. If I turn on, actually they were already on. If I turn on AutoUFOs, nothing shows up on my upper chart at that price. The UFOs are way below. Okay, so in other words, I don't have a trade setup. Okay, and by the way, I had a mini conversation with Ray earlier in the week. Ray, if you don't mind me to share, we were talking about using versus non-using range timeframes. Okay, so here we got the 21-minute time frame. Alternatively, okay? And you could combine both. That would be ideal. Okay, for simplicity, I'm not doing it all the time because I need to find balance because every one of you is a different style of trader, and I need to find balance somehow and give you tools that adapt to everybody. But again, precisely looking for balance and adapting to everybody. Some of you are in the very serious mode when it comes to trading, and you like to be more in the perfectionist side, which, as long as you're not over perfectionist, is okay. And some of you like to look at everything that needs to be looked at because you have more time to spend in front of your screen. So you could certainly, in cases like that, switch to 21 range timeframes and see if the 21 range timeframes those provide UFOs in the right location. And notice how the 21 range time frame, okay, which is not the 21 minute, is the 21 range. This time frame is providing UFOs from 94 to 91 and then 84 to 80. Okay, 84 to 80. So 84 to 80, okay, basically it's somewhere around the average. Okay, somewhere on the average. So a trade could be taken there. Okay, now this is a price range of only 4 pips of high, and in this sense, being so narrow, okay, being so narrow, and the euro pound being a cross pair, where some brokers may have like 2 or 3 pip for the spread. So, now we are falling into, oh my God, do I take the trade or not? Okay, so this is the type of trades where probably it makes sense to wait for price to come into this UFO, and given the fact that it's so narrow, use a reactive time frame, okay, to be able to confirm that you have on-field orders where you thought on-field orders would be, and then take the trade manually out of this UFO, and you make it a great trade. Okay, but when the zones are so narrow, okay, remember we said if the zone is less than the spread of the currency, then it may be worth it to not to trade it. Okay. In this case, depending on your brokers, okay, if you're using FXCM, the spread is 0.4. So certainly 4 pips is more than 0.4. So it's fine. You can take the trade. But at the same time, 4 pips, if you are trying to catch a 4-hour time frame climate, and your trading zone, your price range is only 4 pips, I guess we'll agree it's quite narrow, isn't it? So it would be interesting, it would be certainly recommended to use in cases like that a reactive time frame, even though now it's manual and it may not be of your interest, unless you are a trader who spends decent amount of time in front of your screen. Okay, so just out of bringing all the information to the screen, so what you will now do, okay, what you will now do is load another time frame. Okay, load another time frame. Okay, where you go from 21 minutes or 21 range to 8 minutes or 8 range, right? And you allow for price to come into the 21-minute UFO or 21 range, and as price begins reacting to on-field orders, you may have on the 8-minute time frame UFOs form. And the moment you have UFOs form on the reactive time frame, then you take the trade manually expecting this to happen. Okay? Instead of taking the trade out of the 21, you wait for price to come into the 21, take the trade out of the 8 with new UFOs forming with the stop below the 21. Okay? So that would be the action to be taken in this case, okay? Which I will not do because it would imply manual action. And probably when that happens, the session may be over already. So then I will not do it, okay? But those are the instructions I am leaving you with for you to be able to execute this manually. And by the way, if this trade was to happen during the session and anyone realizes it, let me know so we can come back and do it together, okay? Cool. Yeah, Ray, I hear you. Mark, NQ long setup, even though there is no room for target. Okay, let's look at it all together. Okay, let's look at it all together because we had no opportunity to look at futures today. So the NASDAQ is flashing near sensible long, very nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. Here, I'm gonna open the workspace for the NASDAQ. So that is NQ. Sorry for that, guys, but I do need a little bit of hydration. Okay, so the workspaces are loading and I should be ready soon. Okay. So what do we have? Okay. Well, we have a climate here with the Nasdaq, which is an up climate. Okay, and this is candle number one. Okay, candle number one. Candle number one out of 5 candles certainly is a good time when to enter a trade, and we have an average price which is pointing at 84.62. Let's call it 84.62. So 84.62 is somewhere here, and that is certainly falling within those UFOs. So if this falls just a little bit, it could make sense to enter a trade. Okay. Actually, some of the UFO just went away. So 62 is actually the bottom part. It's very low in that UFO. Okay, very low in the UFO. The bottom part here is 60. Okay, so 60. Yeah. So that's the one. Okay. Well, okay. So we are done with the trade. You can see lots of action here going on. All the unfilled orders were completed already, so we don't have an opportunity to execute a trade. And unfortunately, I didn't have the time. Okay, just in case a new UFO form, which could happen, what I'm going to do is look at where my target would be. Okay, so in the 15-minute time frame, I'll look at where the red UFOs are. The red UFO is right here. Okay, the red UFO is right here. I could understand, Mark, that's why you said there is no room for profit. Okay, there is no room for profit. But remember that one of the rules that we covered, okay, and I do remember you attending our Survival to Mastery Forex in Action class. So one of the rules that we covered, okay, when you click and hold here, you can see the price of the next UFO. And one of the rules that we covered is that in an up climate, if price is already inside of a UFO, then we set the target to be the next UFO. And it's not like we are ignoring that UFO. Okay, it's not like we ignore this UFO. Is that in an up climate, sell unfilled orders tend to be canceled and buy unfilled orders tend to be added. In that sense, it's okay for us to ignore this UFO because price being already inside the UFO implies orders being filled already, so less orders are left, plus in an up climate, sell unfilled orders are likely to be canceled. Therefore, we set the target as the next UFO, and therefore we do have a proper target, which is 8639.25. Okay, 8639.25. That's the target. Okay, which is a huge move. Okay, which is a huge move, probably too far to be able to be reached as an intraday move in the amount of time left during the 2-day session. But in any case, that's what we're given. So we'll use that because, we've seen craziness before, isn't it? Sometimes you have one of those spikes and you just get to the target and that's the trade of the month, and why not to expose ourselves to that? In the meantime, we have our trade management rules, including trailing stop, in case that doesn't happen. Okay, so we just follow the rules, no need to think. So anyway, now for sure, we need a green UFO. We don't have it at the moment. So we're going to have to wait and monitor the NASDAQ chart to make sure that entering is fine. Okay. So going back to the opportunities. Okay. So we looked at the pound yen. The pound Kiwi is giving us an opportunity now. Okay. So we're gonna take a look, okay, and then when we go back, we'll come back and check the Nasdaq. If the Nasdaq was to produce a new green UFO and anyone realizes it, please let me know. Look at that, perfect timing. So there is a new UFO that just formed here from 63 to 59. Guess what? This is indeed a part. Is enveloping the UFO. My friends, we have a trade. It's time to execute. The top part of the UFO is 84.67.5. So 84.67.5, that's going to be our entry right there. And I am entering mechanically with 2 contracts. Okay, so that's it. I got my two contracts, and I'm having a technical issue with my trade station being so slow. I have a little bit of a concern. Let me cancel this trade, guys, because I'm not able to drag my stop, and I don't want to be seen in a trade. I want to be caught by the market in a trade where I got my entry, and next thing you know, I cannot adjust my stop and my targets. Okay, so if you guys are not having this problem, you should be able to enter a trade. This move all the way to 8,500. What is that? Come on, trade station. 84.60 something. Why is it that it went all the way there? So, okay. So we have an opportunity to enter here at 67 and a half. I'm going to place my order. Okay. So guys, I'm having a problem with my translation here. Okay, so I got an entry and I got a fill, entry and exit, and this I'm having a problem to drag my stop. My mouse is not reacting, and basically, as you can see with the two dots, you got an entry and a stop. Okay, so unfortunately, I was not able to execute this trade, guys, and it's a shame because the trade looks certainly valid. Okay, so now the UFO is gone, so really we don't have an opportunity to re-enter. Okay, we don't have an opportunity to re-enter, and therefore is what it is. Okay, so sorry for that. I was not able to execute the trade properly in this particular case. So what are we gonna do? Wait for another UFO to form. Let's see if another UFO forms, and a green one, not a red one. A red just formed. We need a green. And when the green UFO will form, then we'll do it. Sorry for that, guys. I'm just struggling. I'm noticing my virtual machine here to be slow, and in this case, it did impact me dragging stop. By the way, a little bit of an obvious mistake here. If I had placed this order on the S&P, where every point is $50 a point, obviously the amount of ticks the S&P moves per day is much less than the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq is only $20 per point per tick. So really, the way I like to do it better, and you've seen me do that a million times. Okay, I'm not sure why today I did it the other way. So the way I prefer to enter my Nasdaq trades. Okay, and notice how slow my trade station is today. Why are you doing this to us? Okay, here we go. Here's my order bar. So the way I like to do this the best is really using the order bar with an OSO CO, and then I would have avoided that problem. Okay, but yeah. Anyway, what's done is done, and that's it. So okay, so my order bar is back to the normal place. Good. Okay, so back to the climates. And I'm going to be careful next time, because certainly I have a problem with the trade station here, and I don't want to reboot the whole thing. I don't want to reboot my virtual machine to waste time. So next time I'll be a bit more careful. So everything in the futures market is still hopeful. So when looking at the Forex markets, I said, let's go check the pound New Zealand dollar. So I guess it's time to do that. So pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, so pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, let me load this and I will look at the chat. Okay, I'm not sure if some of you were able to execute. Okay. Mark, what about in a knob target and new opposing USO form prior to the time of exit and prior to the safety target being hit? Well, Mark, I think this is your question, a question related to what I just said earlier about in a knob climate, sell on field orders tend to be canceled, buy on field orders tend to be added. What you just described, which makes a lot of sense, can only happen in a lower time frame. It's impossible for you to have a new UFO form in the higher time frame unless price has already moved your way and probably already exceeded your safety target. So that's just not possible unless it's the lower time frame. And if it's the lower time frame, it doesn't matter because you are relying on the climate. And again, in an up climate, sell and field orders should be canceled, right? So therefore, that should not be of your concern. Again, if you are a person who is very active when it comes to managing your trade, you are very conservative, you like to kind of micromanage your trades, which is never a good idea, but you may have rules for that, so then it's okay. And you may want to be a bit more active collecting partial profits because UFOs form and things like that during the life of the trade, then I'm with you. But make sure you do it with a set of rules that you have back tested, and you make sure that this provides a statistical advantage to you instead of you do it based on fear, meaning that you don't fully trust your climate and you are like, oh my God, a UFO forum, what's going to happen now? Let's get out, right? So that would be basically a form of breaking the rules with common sense, but you break the rules without having backtested if that idea was actually providing us statistical advantage or not. So backtest it, Mark, get stats around that, make sure you understand if it helps or it doesn't, and then you can implement that. If this helps with your trading mindset, if you happen to be a very conservative trader, you see those UFO forms and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Right? My approach is a bit more simplistic. One of the rules why I get in the trade is the climate, and I do want to get the climate the opportunity to propagate. Okay, why? Because sometimes this will happen. Okay, you see my trade with the euro there. Okay, this is a trade with one lot. It's not like the size is that large. Okay, but look at the profitability taking from this trade. Okay, why? Because the price movement has been very, very large. Okay, so I like to expose myself to that. If you micromanage trades, this will almost never happen. Is it wrong? No, but you need to prove yourself that you have a statistical advantage. Don't just do it because of a concern, because then it means that other rules that you use are not trusted enough by you, so you are missing on the C word, which is confidence. Okay, and this could be fixed by backtesting, paper trading, etc., until you get there. Okay, cool. Mark, got it. Mark, got in, sim, stopped out. Got it. I understand. The trade didn't work. That's for sure. So glad to see that in your case you were able to execute. I was not too happy of what happened to me, even though luckily in my case my result is better than yours. But I'm not proud of that. Okay, because I got stuck with my mouse, and I'd rather be stopped out than stuck with my mouse. Bojan, took it, got stopped out before I could move the stop. Okay, so then Bojan, in your case, you made the same mistake I made, which is with the Nasdaq, it's gonna be better for you to input your trades using the order bar instead of the matrix. Okay, same would happen, for example, with the euro contract or the yen. Why? Because those markets, trade in half of a pip, right? Each tick is half of a pip, and therefore, if there is volatility in the market, your stop may just be so close that you get stopped out, and now it doesn't make sense to re-enter. And yeah, so anyway, lesson learned, isn't it? So let's move to the 21-minute time frame for the pound kiwi. So what do we have on the pound kiwi? Well, on the pound kiwi, we have a down climate. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so down climate. Okay, down climate. In the case of down climates, we expect 6 candles going down. Okay, and this is candle number 2. Okay, so this market, statistically speaking, could continue moving down for a while. We want to catch that move. Okay, so what do? We first memorize 2.0474 as our reference price. Okay, which is the current price, by the way. Okay, so if we have a trade, it's gonna be around the corner. Okay, so I'm zooming out. Now, 0473 is right here. Do we have a UFO at this price? No, not on the 21-minute time frame. Do we have a UFO on the range time frame? So we can take a look. And by the way, the range time frame, I'm gonna make it optional, guys, because some of you may be like, okay, wait a minute, I don't have time to keep switching so much between time frames, so I will pass. Okay, so then it's fine. But at the same time, for the ones of you who have a little bit more time and you want to be a little more precise, okay, well, it does give you an advantage, because look at that. Okay, now we have here multiple UFOs from 73 to 82. You can put them together and basically you have a 9 pip trading zone, which is a price range of 8 pips. Okay, so we can certainly trade that. So what about targets? Okay, what about targets? So let's turn on AutoUFOs. I'm just going to maximize this and notice how the target would be located quite far down. The target will be located at 2.02119, which we always adjust to the 4 decimal place by rounding up because it's a buy, so there's going to be 12. And then we are 2 because it's a buy, so it's going to be 14. So the target would be 2.0214. That, my friends, is like 200 over pips down. That is a fantastic amount of room for movement. Doesn't mean we're going to get that low. Remember, the further away the targets are, the less likely you will reach those targets. Okay. But again, we got the climate in our favor, so you could certainly give the market an opportunity to go there. Okay. And then when it comes to entry and stop, okay, so entry, we're going to use that UFO. We said 73.4. Okay, so we'll make it 73, 2.0473. Okay, and then the stop will be above the whole cluster of UFOs, the whole group UFOs, okay, which is 0, 4, 80 to 1, rounding up to 83, right? Then adding 2 because it's a buy stop, so 85, and then adding 5 because it's a stop, so that's 90. So 20490. So in other words, we are risking, let me see. Oh, I got a buy. I need to make it a sell. I don't know how I made that little mistake there. So we are risking 17 pips in order to make 259. This is too good to be true, and that's why we got 15 to 1 reward to risk ratio. And you've heard me say it many times what happens with the too good to be true trades. Sometimes they become that good. You saw my Euro trade, okay? And I don't mean to brag about it. It's just that sometimes those trades will happen, but those trades don't happen often. So probably when you see a 15 to 1 reward to risk ratio, you will probably find yourself trailing stop, and somewhere in the middle of the move, you'll be stopped out, and whatever you collected, you collected. Maybe it's a 2 to 1, maybe it's a 3 to 1. Whatever it is, you'll take it, and it's a happy moment, okay? And few times, rarely, I would say, you'll catch those incredible moves like the one on the Euro, which I'm in, but that's certainly not a likely one, okay? There is a little bit of luck. Okay, we are exposing ourselves intelligently to luck while we are not looking for luck. We are looking for consistent, reasonable moves. But sometimes they will go beyond unreasonable. That's the lucky part. Thank you, market. We'll take it. Okay, that's the approach. So anyway, so let's put the order in the system. Again, I'm going to do the same thing as before. Let's pretend you are shooting for $88 of risk. Okay. Let's say that's you. I'm just using that as a random number. So 44 is half. Okay. Why half? Because we need to use the final target. We also need to use the safety target. Okay. So I am moving into my MetaTrader 4. I'm going to move back to my quote window. In this case is the pound Kiwi. I don't have it in the list. Okay. So what you do is tap on the plus sign. I'm using a professional broker with basically raw spreads. So I type on FX Pro and I look for GBP Kiwi, which is right here. Tap on it. Okay. So now I got, if I go back, now on the bottom, I got the pound Kiwi, as you can see. And now it's time for me to enter the trade, which, by the way, it looks like we are going to get filled very quickly if everything goes according to plan. So we set limits, okay, and it's going to be 0.4. That's going to be the size of the trade. Okay, 0.4. We are selling limit at 2.04. What did I say? 73. Stop is going to be 90. Okay, and final target, we said 20214. Okay, so that's the first one. 1, 2, 3, in. Okay, and we are really close to being filled. And I'm going to do it again. So new order, sell limit 0.4, entry 0.473, stop is 90. Okay, and now my safety target is going to be 2.0473 minus the 17 pips that we have as a risk. Okay, so that means that 73 is going to be 56. Okay, and I'm going to input this order, and the order is in the system. Okay, So the order is in the system. I got my pound and pound kiwi right here, okay? And I just want to freeze my screen 1 second so you can see all the parameters. I got 0.40, 0.40, which coincides with 40,000. Remember on MT4, the 40,000 is 0.4. I got 73 and 73, that's my entry. I got 90 and 90, that's my stop. And then my final target is 0214, where my safety target is 0456. Okay, so everything is looking good. So if this currency rallies just a little bit more, okay, if this currency rallies just a little bit more, just like 1 pip or something like that, because it's already pointing at 70 to 8, right? So I just needed to rally just a little more. Of course, you also need the difference between the spread, right? Depending on the brokers that you use, is going to be slightly different, okay? So we may get filled at any moment in time. I haven't been filled yet, but it could happen really anytime, okay? So hopefully you guys were able to follow this one and you are with me on that, okay? Guys, a little bit of feedback. How is it going so far? Really, we don't have much more time to go over much more. So I think that the last few minutes of the session, we could spend it on confirmations and questions that you may have. Let me see. Let me see, Mark. I am testing the idea. I have been stopped out too much and not have many wins. So which idea have you been testing, Mark? The one of getting out when the one of getting out when let me rephrase that. The one of getting out when you have a UFO form after, is that the one you're talking about? Okay. And by the way, I am checking. I am in the trade. Okay. I am in the trade. I just got filled. Got $1.27 profit, which is of course very little because the move just started. But we are having a reaction here to this UFO. Okay, and this is what is paying a little bit right here at that moment in time. Okay, so 585 right now. So the trade is in. Okay, and again now time stop apply, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let me get back to the chat so I can see questions and answers. Contra UFO forms, yeah, contra UFO forms again. Normally, is not that big as a deal because they are contra the climate, and the climate implies that orders tend to be cancelled and orders tend to be added. So, to me, that's not a big deal. But again, there are a million ways on how to trade, and even though I think it's okay for me to say I know what I'm doing and I know my stuff. In the other hand, it doesn't mean it's the only way on how to trade, or there are not little tweaks that may be helpful, right? So the key, Mark, and everybody, is that whatever you envision could be helpful to your trades, don't just do it or take it just because it seems to make sense. Just make sure you backtest it to get results. And if, like Mark, you say that it didn't help you, then don't do it. Okay, that's simple. Okay, but make sure you get that. Okay, so guys, we are moving very nicely in the direction of profitability here. Okay, we are moving very nicely in the direction of profitability in this forex trade. So if I bring in MT4, so this trade is now making $22. Okay. Again, safety target is at 56. Okay, so we still have a few pips to go. So 54 to like 8 pips to go. Okay, but it's nice also to see that a new UFO just showed up. Okay, a new UFO just showed up. Okay, which is below entry. Okay, so you could certainly move your stop here. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I think it's time we just reached the top of the hour, so I believe it's time to conclude the session. So I think I will just say goodbye, and hopefully the session was useful to you, everybody, and the process is clear, and you guys are putting time and practice, and so on. On Sunday next week, we'll get to meet again. Sunday next week, not this Sunday. So next week we'll meet again for the regular trading sessions. But what I meant to say is that next Sunday we will also have sharpening sessions. Okay, we will also have sharpening sessions. So in this sense, if there is any question that you may have, any concern, any results of your backtest, etc., you could certainly send emails. So then we can answer those emails in a proper Q&A session by having your questions properly documented, and we can dive deep into it. Okay, I know some of you are really taking this seriously, putting time and effort, which is the way to go, and I congratulate you for that. But a normal outcome of putting time and effort into the practice, it's to basically end up with situations which is like, okay, so what do I do now, right? And all those cases are questions, and probably will be very helpful for you to have answers. Okay, so document it, shoot an email, and we'll take care of it at that moment in time. Okay, cool. So that little tiny UFO pushing price down again. Okay, and again, it's looking pretty good actually for this climate to propagate, reach safety target and everything else. Okay, so we'll see. Of course, we never have certainty of what's going to happen. It's all about probabilities, but everything looks perfectly normal in this trade. So looking good. Anyway, everyone, super pleasure. And again, I want to say one more time, just in case you were not at the beginning of the session, hopefully you guys are aware of the FX Street project. Okay, if you are not aware of the FX Street project, especially if you happen to be, or you know any trader who is an OT student. So I just want to very quickly show you this, okay, because I am part of this project and I am very personally involved in it, because I have many friends within the OTA community, and many friends that are not precisely in a good situation right now. We have a very powerful initiative to help. We are currently 9 instructors providing a service to this community, which really, it saddens me to think about what's happening to those traders and those students. But at the same time, it's really powerful what we're putting together to help. Okay, so if you are one of them or you know any of them, direct them here to the homepage of fxtrade.com, and here in this box they can just click and apply. And as it says here, they have access to plenty of free resources, multiple asset classes. Next week we're going to be running 21 sessions in 1 week. This is not a joke, my friends, and it's really powerful for them. Okay. In the meantime, it seems that our trade here did reach the safety target. Yes, we did. Okay. So let me see. So you can see how it is. So now notice that I'm left with 1 bracket only. Okay, I got 2 pound Kiwi brackets. Now I'm only left with 1, the one that is paying me $43 now. And if I look at my results, you can see I got a close trade, okay, with those $43.49, okay, which is rounding is $44, which was the amount of risk we had. Okay, so a great example of an executed trade live here that hopefully also helps to clarify how this works in case you are joining our sessions for not too long and still there are many question marks on how certain things work. I think I'm just sharing my phone and my YouTube and all together at the same time. This is better for you guys. And by the way, a new UFO forming, so time to trail stop, by the way. Okay? Cool. Everybody, super pleasure. See you soon. See you next week in the get-togethers. And again, if you are part of those FX Street sessions, I will see you there as well, starting tomorrow. So you guys take care. Bye-bye, everybody.